there.
That's right. He had a very nice interception. He high-pointed a play. We've seen the triple option be effective at times today. How about the gritty, tough Tyson Lee? Not gonna wow you in any facet of his game. That's rather an innocent hit. I don't know if that's on Brinkley.
They did call it on 21. He did have a beat. Bulldogs will take it, an extra 15 yards. They're down to the 16. Already in field goal range, but they don't want to settle for 3. More option, this time left side, and Dixon with tons of room. Dixon, touchdown! There's a flag down on the field. The Cougars are pointing at the Bulldogs.
30 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, I was real curious, Eric, what that was going to be. Arnell Stallworth was out in front of that option, and it was either a decleater and pancake block or it was a holding call. You'll see him. He's right in front of the pitch man. It will come into your screen. Oh, boy. You saw a questionable call on the personal foul in the end zone. Did he grab his foot? I mean, that's going to be the difference, is whether or not, because up top it was clean. That blow was clean. Does he just clip his foot at the very end? That would be the question, why the call was made.
So instead of a touchdown, it's 1st and 15. Ball spotted at the 21. Let's see if the Bulldogs can get this momentum back after having 6 taken off the scoreboard. And again, a fumble on the mesh point. Disaster for Mississippi State. Zeke Reiser gets the football. Can you believe it?
And that says it all right there. That says it all right there. The look on Dan Mullen's face to his veteran quarterback. You love the effort. You love putting the ball in the stomach of your back and selling that play. But at some point, with the earlier mesh point fumble, you've also got to be smart as the quarterback. You can't ride that running back that long, that far into the hole. And turnovers, it says it again and again. This team's lost 3 games, and every game they've lost the turnover battle. The 2 games they've won the turnover battle. You just can't afford 4 turnovers. And doubly disheartening when you've moved the ball and you've been effective up and down in between the 20s, and you shot yourself in the foot nearing the red zone.
Now it's danger time. Mississippi State has just 1 timeout to work with, and they need to get this offense for Houston off the field. Not a good start. Sims on the run out. What kind of speed do you have, young man? Not enough. He's caught by Chris White, and the ball comes loose. Mississippi State has it. Are they going to call it a fumble? I think they're going to say he's down. But we'll take another look at it, that's for sure. It was Chris White who saved the day, tackling Sims from behind. Whether or not this is a fumble or not will be reviewed.
Or is he out of bounds? The ball is clearly out. Now the question may become, Eric, did he step out of bounds? Watch his foot. Does he step out of bounds before the fumble? Right there. That looks clearly out of bounds before the fumble. There's no doubt that that is a fumble, but look at his left foot. Does he step out of bounds there or there? Both the left and the right foot.
I think the best angle is from behind him, right along that sideline. Because the ball definitely came out. It just depends on whether or not he had stepped out of bounds before it did. Yeah, this is the angle.
And remember, it has to be indisputable visual evidence. Is that foot out? Is that indisputable visual evidence?
I believe it is.
I think it clearly is. And you can even see the mark there. There you go. The referee's, that's the right call. The referee on top of it, blows the play dead. People are angry here. They want a review. There's no review of this one. He was clearly out of bounds at the 19.
So already in field goal range. Cougars are going to try and ram it in. Set up the screen. Carrier inside the 5. Another touchdown, Houston.
Eric, you keep the pressure on a defense and you don't let them breathe. Right, you hear coaches talk about that. We're going to put the pedal to the metal. Stay on top of them. Don't let them have a chance. And when you keep these guys on the field as long as Mississippi State has, it was the same thing that happened at Texas Tech in that long game at night. Mississippi State's been on this field defensively for extended periods. And credit Houston, they don't let up.
Ben Bell, the extra point. Largest lead of the day for either side. 14 points for the visiting Houston Cougars. Tyron Carrier gets a little short pass and makes some magic out of it. That's now 4 touchdown passes for Case Keenum. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Another Houston Cougar touchdown, 4th touchdown pass of the day for Case Keenum. Keenum has just tied the great Andre Ware for 3rd most amount of touchdown passes in a Houston Cougar career. He now has 75 touchdown passes. Still got a year and a half remaining in his career.
And you know now what's doubly disappointing about that loss last week in El Paso, certainly not Case's fault, 536 yards and 5 touchdowns. But can you imagine where Houston would be if they won that game last week and all of a sudden come down in the SEC and there's 4 minutes to play, but you win this game and you look at those numbers and you talk about a Heisman race? If, and it's a big if, or what if would be better, and you see the fans leaving, if Houston would have found a way to win that game and the numbers that Case is going to continue to put up this season. He's talented. He knows this offense very well. The ball's out of his hands. He's got multiple playmakers. They're good enough offensively up front. Their defense will put them back on the field a number of times. It's no coincidence he's thrown for 400 and 400 and 500 yards. And I can't imagine it, if he stays healthy, I can't imagine any of that slowing down into Conference USA play.
That's Chris Johnston, linebacker for Houston, being helped to his feet. Brock, to that end, do you see in this day and age of college football someone coming from one of the non-automatic qualifying BCS conferences winning the Heisman Trophy? That's what Case Keenum would have to do coming out of Conference USA.
Again, unfortunate, Eric. I think it can happen if you go to Stillwater and win, if you beat Texas Tech, if you beat an SEC school, if you're a Conference USA or a WAC team that wins 3 against major schools, as they have, then I think you at least get into the conversation, Eric. I don't know if you're going to make that final step and actually win it, but you're going to be in that conversation.
Mississippi State's going to have to hurry. You don't know if they've got the offense to score 14 points in under 4 minutes.
And to that point as well, and we talked about it